Hey, Liron here. If you find yourself often struggling with the details, you have this desire to paint each and every detail, or you don't know how to step back and actually see the entire picture, I recommend you do what I'm going to do right here, which is just, I don't know how to describe it other than the cutest little small sketch. Okay, so I'm going to mix some very thin gray paint here, and I'm going to use this as my pencil to just draw out the scene. Okay, I have this lovely cityscape. This is from Larnaca. You can see the ocean too. How nice. From my vacation there a while back. And look, this is where you can see kind of the dock very far. I'm going to move this a little off center. So we'll start this details here. Sorry for the beeping if you hear this, but this goes up like this. And then here we have the actual street coming through there, and here we have the houses. Let me just move them ever so slightly to the left to break the pattern of even shapes. Don't worry if you can't exactly tell what I'm doing. The idea is to create a thumbnail. This is a small painting. You see, this is the size of my hand. It's relatively small. It might not be small for some of the people watching, but it's considered kind of small. And it's very manageable, right? So I'm just establishing some shapes here. I have some of the buildings, some rooftops. The beautiful thing about painting thumbnails and small sketches is it's not really about the literal thing you're seeing, but it's more about the overall pattern. It gets a little easier to just capture a pattern. I'll show you how exactly. Even if my sketch is inaccurate, you see it's not 100%. I don't paint the exact details. I'm painting the perspective, right? This goes here, this goes there. All the things coming out of the vanishing point, and then a bunch of buildings, but I'm not super specific on the buildings and the details. Now, this does call for kind of an initial wash, I think I want to say. So I'm going to start with the sky here. Well, let's see what we can do. I'm going to grab a little piece of test paper. I would like for this to feel a little bright yet hazy. So we're going to need a blue that isn't like shouting at us too much. And that's quite neutral, I would say. Let's add a bit of this white already at this stage just to balance out the blue a bit. And I'm going to add a bit more of the cobalt. And you see that kind of a thing? I like that a lot. More cobalt. See, we're slowly kind of building it out, okay? I don't know exactly what I'm going to use, but when I'll see it, once I see it, I'll know if it's the thing I need. And I think we're getting close. Bit more cobalt, and there we go. Now we want to keep it simple, so yes, the sky shifts from a blue to a slightly gray. I don't care about any of that. What I care about more here with this particular wash is what's the eyes of the watercolor painting. You know, they say it's the sky. I think Joseph Bookvich says it, but sometimes it's not even the sky. Sometimes it's the water and the ocean. And I think in this particular example, it's a great example of the ocean being the eye of the painting. So I want to preserve that. You know, you want to preserve the eyes here. So I'm going to paint over this, over the horizon line, over everything, okay? And I'm going to leave my eyes, okay, the eyes of the painting, I want to leave them intact, which mostly means in this particular example, we want to leave these beautiful white highlights and sparkles. So I'm going to rotate this that way. I'm going to rotate my reference picture. I'll do my best to utilize the paper's texture and maintain this beautiful pattern of light. It gets broken off here and there, but look, right now it doesn't mean much. Once we have more context and we darken the rest of the painting, it will mean something, okay? So just know that. See, I think this is what we need, right? Like this. A little more maybe very dry brush towards here, not to overdo it. Quite a dry, messy brush. See, just like that. Just a small touch, and we're done. Again, this doesn't mean much just yet, but it will. Now, I'm going to balance this out with a bit of black, because the black is going to push this to be more neutral, okay? So if I need a neutral, I can now use this black paint, and I think I can then also, let's see what we get here. I'll use, you see, I can pretty much cover now almost everything. It's just a question of whether these highlights are as light as the ocean or not, which I can just decide that they will be, okay? So I'm going to keep some highlights here. Look, I'm not even looking at what I'm doing on paper. You see, I'm kind of glancing at it, doesn't really matter. Okay, you can be quite loose here. If you do want to increase the warmth, I would say go just a bit of yellow, like a touch or two with the brush, just 1, 2, you can see it, here we go, 1, 2 touches, add it to the pool, 1, 2 touches of the red, and that would be enough to kind of push this to be a little, warmer. And I would say this is the key. This is where we decide, okay, what's going to be a highlight. I would say, let's just paint everything that isn't a highlight. So this is clearly a shadow. Here we have these two structures. They meet somewhere around here. And here we clearly have another shadow. I'd actually blew it up a bit. So blue, 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 blue. And go down like this from top to bottom. Very simple. There's a diagonal shape of shadow over here. This entire building is pretty much in the shadow, maybe setting aside a small section of highlight. Same for this wall. See, goes all the way behind this rooftop. In here, there are 2 floors, so the separation between them, there is a bit of a dark, and then it goes around. And then, of course, this side here is dark. So let's get that down as well. You see, and slowly it kind of starts to take shape, right? It just works. And we're going to add some doors, some windows, some different random elements. This isn't like the ideal brush to do that. Who cares, Now, while this is still wet, look at what I'm doing here. I'm going to grab a bit more of a gray, but still warm paint. And I'm going to try to match the strength of paint I have on paper, which is going to be hard. You can do that by mixing a dark paint here or by the way you move your brush. So look, I'm going to constantly move my brush. I'm never stopping. See, when you do that, the effect will add the paint in, but it won't take over. And that's what we're after. Again, look, I'm moving it constantly, 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 and I'm stopping. Okay. I don't see another really rooftop where I can do this, unfortunately, but I can just make it up and kind of decide, okay, you know what, this is going to have a bit of red in it. See, you never stop. You just keep your brush moving, and that way you inject the color you want. Sorry for the shakiness, a bit of it. You inject the color you want without the unnecessary stuff, okay? Now, I think we're good. So one thing that could be considered a mistake is I didn't lighten the sky a bit. I think no one will care once we start adding more details, okay? So let's give this a couple of moments to dry. I'm going to just add these small shadows under the roof. Same here, there's this shadow under the roof, okay? We're going to let this dry for a couple of moments and come back and bring this to fruition. It's going to be the complete thing. It's just a 1-2 process, really nothing much to it, where the idea is to preserve that brightness and sparkliness of the ocean. Now this is dry and we can take the very simple finishing touches and finishing steps. So one beautiful thing I'm seeing here is how these shadows are a little blue, which I absolutely like. Now I'm going to take on opportunities to start a wash with what I see the clearest. And this is right now what I see immediately. It jumps at me, so I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to mix something that's a little darker too. Now, there are nuances here. It's not one perfect color, but we're keeping it simple. So we have this building here and the shadow underneath the roof. And we're going to just put in here. And we're going to try and connect it a bit to this shape. And what you'll see, what I want you to notice is the more we add these, the more structure and kind of integrity this painting gets, even when you don't paint anything specific. This is the magic of watercolor and painting. Look, I'm not even painting objects. I'm just painting kind of random shapes that look good to me, That's what it's all about. That's the most fun thing about watercolor painting. And once you experience this, by the way, once or twice, like you can't go back. It's so fun. That's why I recommend checking out the frustration-free watercolor course. The link is going to be in the description box below. Just help me help you. Go get that course. It's very straightforward. It's like $49. Get it. Learn how to paint loosely. Just solve this once and for all. Once you're able to paint loose watercolors, you'll be able to paint realism. You'll be able to achieve whatever you want, right? If you have some kind of ambitions with this media, if you want to start selling your paintings or, getting commissions or, exhibiting or just, getting more recognition for your art. To me, I think especially with watercolor, it's one of those things where the freedom does matter, and you can immediately see when someone has freedom in their paintings, when someone doesn't. And you definitely want to be someone who has that freedom because it's just helpful for everything, I'm telling you. And it's very simple, it's not that hard. It's not as hard as you think. I'll show you a couple of things you can do before the painting process even begins to simplify your life. And I also will show you some things some exercises that you can do that will immediately evoke that freedom in you. You won't know what hit you. You'll be like, wow, I'm actually doing this. And once you do it once or twice, you can't take the experience back, and you'll be in a completely different place. There is a clear before and after moment. And why not do that? Why not get the results you want? I'm going to go a little more neutral on this specific one. Okay, look at this beautiful kind of fun impression we're getting. Let's pretend this belongs to the building from the back. Just looks better compositionally, looks a little more real with the perspective. There we go, just a little bit better. Here as well, I'd kind of drop a larger shadow. Now, the light is coming somewhere from the ocean. How fun is that? So I could just bring in a couple of these, the trees here, like really nice trees in the boulevard. And look, I'm not following the values I'm seeing to the T, because that's another principle in freedom. You don't necessarily want to paint things exactly as you see them. You want to paint them in a way that makes sense for the scene you're working on. And for me, right now, this is what makes more sense, right? So this row of trees going all the way to the back. And then their shadows being cast on the ground, going a little cooler, believe it or not. So, and it's all just small touches. You see, I added a bit of blue, and I always add it to the mix I have. I don't try to, create a completely separate mix. That's just going to make my life harder. I always add it to what I already have. It's just easier to manage that way. And let's put this little fence here, whatever that is. We have another fence. This is more of a wall. This is more of a fence, actually. So it goes like this, all the way into the distance, right? And then we have this beautiful, to the side of the road. These are just little poles, coming out of the ground. And of course, they also have these diagonal shadows to them. Look how simple this is. And I'm making this super simple, non-complex, not very detailed either. Right? I don't necessarily want a lot of details here. Now, you know me, I have to put in a car or two for good measure, and they're here in the photo anyway. So that's one car. That is another car right behind it. See, now, the more you darken this area to the right, the more the sea will feel like it brightens up, okay? So just so you know, it is a general rule. So I'm going to add like a dark door here. I'm going to add like a bit more darkness here in some of the details, in some select spots, okay? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add this horizon that's quite blue actually, because it's farther in the distance. I need to refill my ultramarine, but in any case, dark, leading to the actual buildings and details in the distance, okay? Still in the distance though, not too strong. See, and that kind of gives us the horizon. You see how it starts to kind of create a feeling of light there. Now, one more thing you can do is do another layer on top of what we have from earlier, just to trap the light a little more. So what I would ideally do is add a bit more blue, add a bit more dark. You just want it to be a touch darker than the previous one. Not too much, because we're layering right now, right? So we have this layer underneath to begin with, so it's going to be inherently darker. So you don't want to go too dark. And then what I would do later is probably rotate back, see, and kind of find if there are spots where maybe there's some patterns on the water, maybe a boat that went through. You see this kind of a beautiful pattern, or wave ripples or something like this. That also can help the impression. You could also just in a flat way almost cover the lights and kind of remove some of the lights here, but I kind of like the way this looks right now. And I love this little drop here, this little magic. What is this? Is it the moon during daytime, or what is it? Who cares? It just looks super cool. That was a complete accident, right? I wasn't planning on doing that. You saw it just kind of dropping it over there. Now, another fun moment, just a couple of highlights. especially on something like the cars. That's the kind of thing I like. So on top, on the back of the car, a little to the side, kind of connecting it on the car at the back. There's some people here that their body catches the light. There's some small balconies and all sorts of fun details you can capture. You don't have to, you know, just a little bit of a touch here and there. But I don't want this to become, you know, about the highlights really. I just want this to be about light coming from the ocean, beautiful scene, very, you know, high key, relatively speaking. This isn't dark, right? And hopefully you can feel kind of the mood. Let me show it to you a little up close. See? You can kind of feel the mood. It gives you some kind of an impression. This is the type of scene, by the way, if you paint plein air, even if you don't like the result at first, when you take it back home, you'll be like, wow, this really brings back some nice memories, fun memories. So I would highly recommend you give this kind of a thing a try. Now I'm going to sign this here in the shadow. Just a small little thing. Liron. Write my full name. It is a long name. What can you do? I have to leave room for my signatures. But, you know, for these small sketches, I don't really care. I just sign wherever I feel like it. But in any case, here it is. Here it is, just a small preview on the smaller camera. Hopefully that makes sense. Almost, funny enough, you could argue from enough distance, it almost looks realistic. Now, these areas here could go darker in some spots, could go lighter, could go warmer, cooler. We're keeping it simple. This is a thumbnail. Keep it simple. I'm going to show you how to keep it simple in the frustration-free watercolor course too. So if you've been trying everything, if you've been painting for years and still, when you see this tree, you're like, how do I get the shape of it perfectly? We're going to solve this. We're going to solve all of it. Okay, hit the first link in the description box below. I'll see you there. I also want to send huge thanks to everyone who supports me on Patreon. I did mention soon there will be a new exclusive process over there, probably from the Watercolor Breakthrough Club. Keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much. If you want to receive, of course, credits at the end of the videos, that's how you get it. And I will talk to you again soon.